Welcome to Missing the Mark, where we look for meaning in strange places. I'm Christopher. Some time ago, I made a video with a logic lesson for atheists in which I explained the logical form Modus Tollens. As a refresher, that's an argument of the form P implies Q, P, therefore Q. The particular example I used was, if Christianity is true, then Islam is not true. Christianity is true. Therefore, Islam is not true. That's completely valid. And sound, but that's not important to the moment. Valid means that the conclusion follows from the premises. Sound means that it's valid and that the premises are true. Validity is an extremely low bar. I should probably add that a Muslim could flip this around, and it would also be a valid argument. My point of disagreement with him would only be whether it is sound. What I would like to explain today is the other major syllogistic form, Modus Tollens. This is an argument of the form P implies Q, not Q, therefore not P. To give a trivial example, if Socrates is a bull, then Socrates has horns. Socrates does not have horns, therefore Socrates is not a bull. This is a valid form of inference, and it is used very commonly. I would now like to draw the Lack of Belief Atheists' attention to the following syllogism, which is in the form of Modus Tollens. If Christianity is true, then fornication is immoral. Fornication is not immoral. Therefore, Christianity is not true. That first premise is simply a fact about Christianity. If you hold it as false, you are simply a moron or a liar. It's not up for debate. And, moreover, everyone knows this. The second premise is held to be true by most, if not all, lack of belief atheists I've come across. There will be exceptions, of course, but the same argument works for many other moral issues as well: masturbation, adultery, drug use, and so forth. If there is a lack of belief atheist who holds that Christianity is entirely correct in its morality, then what I'm about to say does not apply to him. I'd also like to meet him. Ideally, he'd bring his pet unicorn to the meeting. Now, here's the thing about logic. If both premises are true, then the conclusion must be true as well. That is, if you hold that Christianity's stance on any core moral issue is wrong, this logically entails that Christianity itself is false. It doesn't matter if you haven't actually said this, it is still what you believe. The only way you can get out of it is to deny logic. That is, you can hold beliefs, which logically entail Christianity being false, and not hold that Christianity is false, only if you commit yourself to being irrational. This is doable, of course. You can, in some sense consistently, declare that you do not accept reason, and you are merely an irrational beast. At that point, you are beyond reproach. People who believed you would no more call you irrational than they call a dog irrational. Not because it's false, but because it's a waste of time. The only other option that a lack of belief atheist, who holds the contrary of some element of Christian morality to be true, has, is to declare that he aims to be rational, but is grossly mentally incompetent. He has, so far, failed to think through basic syllogisms that should be easy enough for a 10-year-old. This is distinct from the previous case in that he hasn't declared that he will never be rational, only that he has yet to be rational. Now, if this is one's position, then okay. But if this is your position, then you shouldn't be posting videos or even typing on your keyboard unless every sentence you type ends in a question mark. If you hold that you aren't yet capable of thinking through basic syllogisms, then you have nothing to tell anyone and should be spending all your time begging for help in learning how to think. Then finally we come to where I think most lack of belief atheists actually are. You do in fact believe that Christianity, and Judaism and Islam and Hinduism and so forth, are false. You just can't prove it in the sense of give an argument which forces everyone who hears it to agree with you. But I've got good news for you. No one has an argument that forces whoever hears it to agree with them about anything. On any subject where a person does not already believe the conclusion, they are capable of disbelieving any argument you present them. So don't worry about it. And moreover, I've just given you a valid argument which proves that Christianity is false, and you can adapt it to whatever your biggest moral disagreement with Christianity is. I suggest choosing masturbation because most lack of belief atheists are utilitarians, about most things, and masturbation being good follows directly from utilitarian principles. It brings pleasure and causes pain to no one, and utilitarianism is a fairly strong position because cheating is built right into it. No one knows what all the consequences of an act are, so utilitarianism always involves ignoring whatever you don't want to consider. So, in conclusion, dear Lack of Belief Atheist, here is a way that, with fairly minimal changes to your position, you can reclaim a few shreds of the human dignity you should have. Now, for the sake of full disclosure, I will say that my motive in giving you this help is that if I can talk you into a position which involves at least trivial amounts of actual thought, you might get used to thinking enough to eventually see through atheism. But on the plus side, since you think that atheism is correct, and therefore the rational position, you have nothing to fear from getting some experience with actually thinking rationally and using at least a little logic yourself. And by all means, do not trust me about anything I said here. Go get yourself an introductory book about formal logic and work this out for yourself. In fact, that would be pretty much ideal. Until next time, may you hit everything you aim at.